going to
Okay,
do?
so first up, coming soon, it's that CircuitPython 8 poster. It talked about, thank you so much, Espressif, for going on this journey with us, letting us get this art approved and more. It'll be in the store shortly.
Yeah.
We'll have a limited number. That is the poster. Okay, next up.
Okay. Next up, it says an update. It's a 2 times AA battery holder, but here's the thing I really like. It's got this like built-in mechanical switch, which I think is wonderful for educational projects. But we had people who wanted to use these in breadboards, or they wanted to use them in Play-Doh or whatever. They wanted like the premium ends that, you didn't, like we had like bare ends before. So we just got these updated. They now have premium ends on them. Wonderful for a breadboard project, or you can just stick them in any kind of material, and they'll just do a better job at staying in place because they've got nice tips.
Okay, next up.
Next up, this clear tag, which we originally had in MyFair Classic, we now also have in NTAG 203. This is the new, MyFair fancy version. Classic is less supported these days. I recommend you go to NTAG 203. Only the oldest stuff will not support NTAG. It requires MyFair Classic. Honestly, every phone that's made in the last 5-10 years wants NTAG more than MyFair. So pick these up. They physically look the same, but they have a different chip inside.
Next up, and this was the code was based on micro adapter.
Yeah, this is a little micro adapter. You asked for something like this. Basically, if you have an old laptop or a computer with USB A connector, this will just adjust it into USB-C. It's just very slim. It's a little micro. It's actually meant to be embedded in a product, which is why it's kind of like a little robot-y looking.
Yeah, this is, you want it as small as you could possibly get.
It's a little skeletal, but it does work quite well. And then, you have a reversible USB connection instead of USB-A. So it's a little port adapter.
Next up.
Next up, we have from Espressif, which, again, they've been rocking out with us. This is the S3 box Lite. So it does not come with a dock. It's basically the same as the S3 box before, but there's just a little less expensive. There's no dock that comes with it. It's a little box with, I think, like a 2-inch screen, 3 buttons. You've got, we're just showing here a little animation of scrolling through some of the capabilities. I can show real fast, maybe. Maybe I'll plug this into my USB CUI adapter. So you go to the overhead, and I'll demo this.
Yeah, I figured I'd show some of the photos.
Yes.
You ready?
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so it's got USB-C. It's got this screen. I plug this in. Shows a little animation, which is cute. So this is the built-in demo. Of course, you can program it. It's the ESP32S3. So it's got like a little, it looks like a LVGL graphics demo. It's got a media player, and you can actually play music, which I'll then pause so we don't get YouTube complaints.
Oh, weird.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah.
Let's slow down.
Something happened.
So you got a little a control surface.
Yeah. I think that's interfering with something.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I broke everything. Sorry.
We're back.
That was exciting. Did we mention this is live? Hold
Yeah.
on, let me get this back into. Okay.
There you go.
And then help, and there's just a little documentation. Basically, it's a little all-in-one box that has sensors, speaker, little mounting holes, slots you can plug in stuff with an ESP32S3. So if you just want to get a project up and running really fast from Espressif, this is a quick way to get started with your ESP32S3 project. There's ESP IDF support, and I think we actually added CircuitPython support for this board as well.
Except.
Okay, this is interesting. We didn't stock a lot of these. These are Hall effect, like a dimmer knobs. So they look like potentiometers, but they're faders. Often you've seen these in AV control panels, and they're kind of fancy and nice, or aeronautic stuff. So this is a very smooth motion that goes back and forth. It's not a potentiometer. Inside is a Hall effect sensor, which will send out, and that's a little bit of circuitry that'll send out a linear voltage on the yellow wire. So you do have to power it with 5 volts and ground. And then you get a linear voltage out. It's got like this really nice motion. It's got mounting holes, and there's a diagram. It's just like really, really nice, and it's meant to last for like decades. So, again, often used in AV equipment where it cannot fail because you're fading between live and recorded, and you can't mess that up. And it's not a potentiometer, so whatever you have this controlling needs to be able to take an analog voltage in. That said, it's kind of a nice interface. It's got, a nice bearing and everything. It's got a very smooth feel. I feel like if you want something like this, motion or action, there's really nothing other than one of these fader knobs to do it. So, if you're creating an interface and you want it to be really nice, I know these are a little expensive, but I think they're worth it. And they definitely have a really good build quality to them.
All right. And the star of the show tonight, besides you, Lady Ada, our team, our staff, our employees, our friends, the community, our customers, all y'all, is this.
A breadboard, but it's a premium breadboard. People have asked for these. So we had the large breadboard in premium style, and now this one. So basically, we've had breadboards for a while, and they were okay. They were good. But this is like a really, really nice breadboard. So basically, I went to a bunch of different factories, and I said, look, I really want a smooth insert. I want the clips to have these fancy clips that they make that are nickel plated, that they don't have the annoyance of, like, sometimes you have to wiggle a board to get it in, that you don't have to do that anymore because they're actually split apart and with a little notch in them. And everything is lined up very nicely so that when you want to insert a board or remove a board, it's like a very smooth motion. So, like, here's your standard feather, and it just goes in very smoothly, like each time, every time. You want to plug in wires. Oops. They plug in very easily without difficulty, but they're also in place. I also wanted to change the marking from blue to black because I kind of like black ground, red power. I don't know. And another thing that is fancy about these is they come with a metal plate. So if you would like to not have the sticky back that could possibly rip and be annoying, you basically put the plate on the back. This can also help with EMI, or at least I learned that in school. I don't know if it's actually true. But it also make for a very nice, solid backing. You can connect them together, of course, if you want to, like, stick. They have little nubs on the side, so you can stick them side to side. But basically, if you're ever really annoyed of, like, breadboards that are like, it's really hard to put stuff in and remove it, these are buttery smooth. So buttery smooth breadboards are here.
All right. Just new products.